Today we are going to be exploring a case of not relying on the server for trust, but relying on the client for trust in a PHP script. So that's just a server-side scripting language. And what they have done is they have chosen to use JavaScript for enforcing character length inside this demo text area. We are going to showcase just overriding that. And this is really just kind of for educational purposes only, strictly. Obviously, don't try this. So we're just doing this 100% just to showcase how it looks when you rely on a client trust versus server trust. So this is a very common programming security flaw. It's a vulnerability, and this is fairly harmless here. Typically, they just want you to have 10-second audio. We're just going to make it like 20 seconds. This is fairly harmless, but I mean, if misused in a very bad way, then of course, obviously, maybe disk space, taking up stuff, not deleting the audio, etc. Things could go pretty sideways there, but don't worry, we're not going to do that, and you should not either. But anyways, let's check this out. So the first thing we're going to notice is today we are going to talk about open source digital forensics tools. We will be showcasing how to perform remote collection. Okay, so we're cut off there, right? So let's just say that we're cut off there. We click say it.
Today we are going to talk about open source
Okay,
digital
so it
forensics
deleted the
tools.
audio.
We will be showcasing how to perform remote.
So first of all, let's just showcase that delete audio was called, and based on our session, it wiped that audio out. But let's and so it does this using, I believe, the session ID. If we click on the cookies, session ID matches up here with that matches up here with the audio that was created tied to our session ID. So you can see it uses a timestamp along with our session ID to go ahead and create that file. Cool. So let's double click the file so we can see page not found. If we double click on this again, suddenly we see that, and then we see
Today
cool,
we are going
right?
to talk
So
about
we see how that works. Now, what if we call delete audio again, though, right? So we just call delete audio. It still has our session data. Hey, page not found. Cool. So this is kind of neat. So we can copy this this link here and throw a notepad open right here. And let's turn on word wrap to make it easier for us to read. We're going to just kind of type some extra stuff like remote host forensics is quite fun. Whoops, spelled quite fun. We will use a known goods list to get a listing of unknown files by hash. Then we can check those against virus total, or even use a debugger or disassemble them, right? Cool. So the only thing is that if we just threw this into this, the spaces might throw it off. Usually you need a URL and code that would be spaces to %20, but in this case we can see it seems to like the pluses. I've not tried it any other different way, so let's just go ahead and just follow what it wants, right? So I'm going to just replace spaces with pluses in here. At least I think I am. What's going on here? Spaces with pluses. Cool. So we're going to copy this, and I know that this may not make sense, but let's go with it. So now if we double click this audio, we can see page not found, but if we run this, we wait a second for it to load. It should just give us that. Yep. So that file is created. Cool. So we double click on this MP3 here.
Today we are going to talk about hash. Then we can check those against virus total or even use a debugger or disassemble them.
Right. So that works. That works well. The thing we should do now to be nice is delete that audio because we obviously just kind of tricked it a little bit. But let's go ahead and assume now that we want to not do that directly against that PHP script that's on the server side, but maybe we want to check into the JavaScript, right? So we just showcased the client kind of more going at the parameter, the GET request, and actually maybe I don't think we looked at that really. So let's look at the headers. We scroll down and we can see this voice text variable, right? So if we were to patch this, we would go into the createaudio.php file, and up toward the top somewhere or wherever we're handling the inputs, we would just check out that voice text parameter and just trim everything off after 120 characters, or we could even just say if the string length, the strlen is length, if that's greater than 120 on voice text, we could actually just terminate the script. Like if someone's gonna be messing with it, just die, right? And that's literally that's the function to call in PHP. I'm not saying anything bad. Just in PHP, if you want to just terminate execution and just quit right there, just call die, and then that's it will not continue to run the rest of the script. We just say if the strl string length strlen is longer than 120 on that voice text get variable or parameter, we're gonna die and just terminate that session. Even maybe, yeah. But anyway, that's that real simple concept. So we're working this through directly on the PHP, the server side script, and let's look at the JavaScript side of things. So so the first thing we know is that if we right click and click inspect, we will see text area, and then we saw that hashtag, and we see the demo underscore text. So we know it's for sure a text area, but then the demo underscore text is kind of our next good giveaway. So let's just click onto sources, and then we're for sure working with some sort of JavaScript, right? So we're going to click search in folder, and then we're just going to maybe, let's do dot length. So we just searched dot length, and we can see this jQuery, right? So let's get more direct. Let's search demo underscore text. So we can see in demos that there's a lot of mention of it. So that's kind of where I'm going to focus on, right? So click into there, and then inside of here, if we want to be more direct and just do a control F in here, we can search dot length, because we know that's what is called when we're working with that object. We're going to check its dot length value, right? So then it's setting a variable here in JavaScript of len to equal the text area value, the length, and then we're just going to say, you know what, we don't want 120. Let's say we want 500, right? And then we'll just say 500. And then we also remember delete audio was called, right? So there is this down here at the bottom. It's audio done is called, and that actually triggers a post to that delete audio then it does a function data. So if you really wanted to not delete the audio, you could just do like this, right? You could just start kind of doing this, right? You could just take all this out of here. We're not going to do that though, because that's that's getting a little bit more messing around type stuff. We don't want to just mess around too much. But anyway, let's say that we switch that 120 to 500. Now, of course, we can see this star. So we click off, click on, and we can't do anything, right? So what that means, we need to do Control S on that script to actually save it. And now we can see it now allows us to do more. So if we did click say it would obviously then generate a longer MP3. And like I said, if we really did not want delete audio to happen, this could just be commented out and saved, for example. But this is all, of course, just kind of for educational purposes, and really it showcases the need to enforce things at the server side and not using JavaScript or on the client side, because what the client sends is not always 100% what you want, and so you have to just expect that and then enforce on the server side what you want. I hope that makes sense. I think it does.